This live episode of the Flush Podcast is brought to you by Walton's, Aluma Trailers, North Dakota Tourism, Federal Ammunition, Onyx Hunt, and by Nutrisource Pet Foods. Today we're hosting another live show at Bear Cave Brewing in Hopkins, Minnesota. The one and only Ron Schara is my guest. We'll share a few of our favorite stories from an excellent hunting season so far. Plus, we'll share lessons that those elusive birds have taught us. Hopefully, it'll help you become better hunters. You want to fire this up, Brandon? Oh, we're live. All right.
We're live.
There we go. All right. There we go. Welcome to another live episode of the Flush Podcast. I'm Travis Frank. I'm your host. Right next to me here, the one and only Mr. Ron Schara.
Legend in his own mind.
Legend in his own mind, and a couple of other minds in the building tonight. They've already come up and introduced themselves to you. You're a star.
Hey, listen, we have one rule tonight.
What's that?
Because I ran into some of our podcast listeners a couple weeks ago in South Dakota, and they both, or maybe more than two, said to me, "Why is Travis always picking on you?" And so I said, because I don't know, because I never pick on you.
Right.
You know that.
Yep.
And so there's no picking on me tonight.
I promise I won't. I'm glad that you came out. I know you don't like to drive at night, so it's good that you made it out here safely on these dark roads tonight, and we will make sure you make it back.
I just said, don't pick on me.
Okay, all right. We are at Bear Cave Brewing in Hopkins, Minnesota. Many pheasant hunters are in the audience tonight. There may be a few non-hunters in the audience tonight. Oh, we got a hand up over there. We are recording an episode of the Flush Podcast. This is a national podcast because all podcasts are national. Anybody that wants to listen to them anywhere can. But we're in Hopkins, Minnesota tonight.
Tell them how to listen to it if they want to later.
If they're listening to this right now, Ron, they already know how to do it.
Well, what if they want to listen to it again?
They're shaking their heads.
No.
They got a bunch of no's.
Well, that says a lot.
Well, all right, Ron. Happy Thanksgiving to you. We are fresh off of the first holiday in the holiday season. Did you have any Thanksgiving traditions that you kept this year?
No. We tried a Thanksgiving tradition. I'm a turkey hunting nut, so early on, many, many years ago, I felt it was only right and historically correct to have a wild turkey as on the Thanksgiving table, although there's still historically some question if turkeys were ever on the first Thanksgiving table, by the way. But that I wasn't there, neither were you, so we can't answer that.
You actually did a story, I want to say last year or the year before, where you dove into the history of the turkey, and I remember you said that, but I don't remember what they think might have been the first protein.
Probably venison and duck.
Not turkey.
Well, they don't know, but turkey wasn't mentioned. But logically, turkey was probably part of the first. Anyway, so what you discover is a wild turkey is a wonderful bird. The wild turkey is a good tasting meat, but it's a wild bird, and it's very dry.
It's much different than the Genio turkey that you buy at the store. Yes.
And it's very dry, and if you don't cook it right, you're going to have a rough time chewing it versus the domestic turkey, which is nice and fat, and so the tradition of having wild turkey kind of went away.
Really? Well, actually, I've got a book here that one of our guests tonight in the audience brought. It's called Red, White, and Everything Else. And he's sitting here. Tim is his name. I want to have Tim Kraske come up. Tim, I'll have you come up in just a little bit. I've got some questions for you about this book that you wrote and about your role at Pheasants Forever, because I met you last year, and you're doing a lot of great things. But, Ron, you just came off of a bird hunting bender, I will call it. For you, like 3 straight weeks, you were in Minnesota, because I was there. I know you were out there. But then also you spent 2 weeks in South Dakota.
Yeah, we got to South Dakota, Eureka, South Dakota. A huge freezing rainstorm hit there on Thursday. We showed up on Friday. And the rain was the ice was so thick on the grass, so thick everywhere on the trees, et cetera, et cetera. Miserable hunting conditions, to make a long story short. And all of the wonderful grassland that's out there was unhuntable, and the birds didn't want to be in it.
Was it just
either.
laid flat?
Well, pretty much laid flat. If it wasn't flat, it was hanging full of ice. It was not the kind of things you were looking for, let's put it that way.
You dream of those golden grass hunts where you're walking, and you didn't have that.
And the temperature was, 15, well, it was 0 in the morning, maybe got up to 15 during the day. And that was okay if the wind wasn't blowing, but South Dakota, wind blows. It wasn't great. Actually, what I found out, Travis, is that when you face that kind of weather, when you look at what the temperature is, you step outside and you see the wind blowing, and you say, this is awful, awful, awful. Thinking about it is worse than doing it.
Sure.
Once you get out there, if you're dressed right, etc., you say, okay, I'm out there. I got it. I did it. So thinking about it is worse than actually being out there. And that's a lesson you have to kind of repeatedly learn, because I've learned it before. But anyway, most of the birds, like I said, didn't want to be in the grassland, so they were in the cattail marshes, or they were in food plots. Some of these food plots out there go a quarter of a mile long, and sorghum, mostly grain sorghum, and so they were there, and but they're, you made so much noise walking. If you didn't have some blockers, if you weren't quiet, it was tough to get close to them. And a lot of food plots are in a big strip on either side. There's picked or harvested soybeans. Well, all that rain on the soybean fields made the soybean field like an ice skating rink. Serious.
Have you ever hunted in conditions like it?
If I did, I wanted to forget it.
Yeah.
I don't think so. If I had my druthers, I wouldn't have. But, we had a whole bunch of guests there for the Hank hunt and a few other things. So, it was.
I want to ask you about the Hank hunt in a second here. But first, for everyone that's listening right now, if you have questions or stories, we want to include you into this podcast. There's a microphone just like the one that we are wearing, Ron and I. It's on this chair right here. Come up, say your name, ask a question. We've got a bunch of items here. Take some of this stuff home with you tonight. We're all very glad that you came out tonight to hang out with us. We do want to hear from you. We love hearing other people's stories. I enjoy heckling Ron and hearing his stories a lot, but I'd rather hear from some of you. So please, now Ron, back to you. Why did you agree to host the Hank hunt this year? This was Scott's brainchild.
Well, I like the idea. When ravens were alive, I adored my dogs. You adore yours, and the Hank hunt was a great concept that Scott Franson came up with, gathering fellow pheasant hunters, bird hunters who relish their dogs, both living and dead, and don't we all?
Yeah. And
Hank was a yellow lab that died prematurely at like the age of 5, and so Scott came up with the idea of calling it Hank Hunt, gathering fellow hunters who shared the passion for their dogs and their memories. For this second Hank Hunt, Travis, we had 2 hunters from Indiana.
Okay.
We had 1 hunter that drove all the way from California.
Really?
We had a hunter from Texas, and from his twin brother from Alabama who drove all the way up. We had a hunter from western Iowa who drove up. We had a husband and wife from Wisconsin that drove there to be part of the Hank hunt. And it opened my eyes to a couple things. One, the passion that a lot of people have for upland bird hunting, maybe especially pheasants. You and I live Minnesota, not bad pheasant hunting. We're next to the Mecca of pheasant hunting, South Dakota, Nebraska, etc. So you kind of take things for granted. Some of these people having an invitation to come to South Dakota for the Hank hunt is they couldn't pass that up.
Yeah.
And that opened my eyes to just the passion that some of these people have. Even our podcast, that's what I say. One of the things I heard out there from people that listen to our Flush podcast said, Travis has to stop picking on you, and so I totally agreed with that. But anyway,
I promise.
Anyway, it was. I agreed to do it because I like to write, and I think Scott's plan is to next year you or Bill Shirk will write the next one. Anyway, that was about.
Do you feel like, given the conditions, the ice storm that they were hunting in versus the golden grass that they envisioned walking, did it ruin that experience for them, or did they kind of cherish having to battle such cold temperatures to get birds?
Well, I don't think any of us would have chosen that weather. So if you say, did it ruin it? In some ways it did. On the other hand, I've seen this too. When a group of hunters are facing stress, facing the elements, there is a bonding thing that happens because the cold doesn't favor anybody out there. The wind doesn't freeze my face, but not your face.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I saw some of the pictures. I couldn't even see your face, Ron. I just saw little glimpse
there was
of
a
your
reason
eyes.
for that. There was a reason for that. But so anyway, no, that wasn't the weather we would have chosen at all. But you're thrown into that, and you got to do it. The only thing I'm saying is the year before that, I did a Flush episode in South Dakota, and I hunted in a damn blizzard with the wind, snow coming down sideways.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, you can't choose your weather, and so you do what you can and try to dress for it.
Yep. Any feedback that you received from our guests on that hunt that you think could help us as we plan for hopefully next year's Fank hunt?
No, I tell you, Scott Franson's sister was the chef there. She's an amazing chef.
Isn't she amazing?
She is, but the only suggestion we had was those people who have been to the Hank hunt in the past want to keep coming. And so the idea was, let's have a Hank hunt for the veterans and then have a Hank hunt for new folks coming.
Oh, veterans meaning people that have already been before?
Yeah, so I don't know where that's going to go.
I think you got a full-time fall gig lined up here.
You and I will be doing Hank hunts next year for
all
weeks
13
and weeks
episodes. Right. Well, I'm happy that you had a good experience, but you've hunted pheasants in South Dakota for many, many years. Granted, the conditions weren't what you typically like to see when you're out there, but you obviously got birds. What did you see out there that was maybe encouraging as far as bird numbers this year? Or how does it rank from past hunts?
Well, the weather didn't allow that kind of.
You couldn't get a fair estimate?
No. I'm always looking for grassland because that's what pheasants need. Where we were at was a lot of grassland there, but the guy owned the land, and he set it up that way. So I kind of look at that. Because if you don't have the habitat, you don't have the birds. And the other part of it, the weather was such that you could drive back, and I'm always looking for birds, and you couldn't find any because of the weather. They weren't out. Yeah. So well, I have no idea.
I've heard a few stories tonight before we started recording about some people claiming that this is some of the best pheasant hunting that they've seen in South Dakota. And this past weekend, it was 57? Do you want to give Ron an update on what things are looking like out there now that you've been back? Come on up. You can just put that headset on right there. Say your name and where you were hunting and what brought you out tonight, maybe.
Well, anybody, Travis, anybody can find birds and shoot birds when it's 57 degrees out there.
Oh, he pushed the mic down.
Well, we're on both sides of him now, so he's in trouble.
Yeah, he's stuck.
I'm stuck.
He's stuck. Well, okay, you live in Minnesota, but you have land in South Dakota. First, before we get there, name, please.
Clayton Carlson.
Okay, Clayton. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Oh, I love it.
But how long have you had land in South Dakota, and what are you seeing right now on the ground for birds?
This is the 12th year I've had it. with no winter last year and actually a drought this year, the birds just took off because there was no rain over nesting time, and they just need a few bugs and a little dew. And
I'm going to grab this from you here so it doesn't rub on the mic. There you go.
This is probably in 12 years the best year I've seen out there.
Okay. Whereabouts in South Dakota?
It's called a little town called Howard, South Dakota.
And did you have the ice that covered everything too?
We had no ice. They don't even have any snow out there right now.
But did you before?
No.
So it missed. What was the swath that came through?
Farther north, I believe, where you had the ice storm.
Yeah, where were you at again?
Howard, South Dakota.
Howard?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
You said this is the best you've probably seen in 12 years. That's as long as you've been running land out there?
Yeah.
What's it like for you or how often do you get out and hunt out there and then manage the property? And how much of your property are you able to manage for wildlife?
Well, I tell you, it's really nice meeting South Dakota people because we have a farmer right down the road, and he's a super fun guy, and he does our food plots for us, hays for us, and does stuff like that, and it's just generated the bird population around. We only hunt it maybe 4 times a year, 5 times a year. But it's just phenomenal. I love seeing a lot of birds. You don't have to shoot them all, but you love seeing that there's hens, there's roosters, there's deer. Everything's, just producing themselves very well on that property.
Wonderful. And who brought you out here tonight? Because I see a lovely lady over here.
My wife actually saw this online or something and said, I said, yeah, let's go do that. That'd be a blast. And we invited some friends with us. He pheasant hunts also.
Wonderful.
I guess if the way he shoots, if you could call it pheasant hunting, but he's an okay guy.
See, Ron, that's the whole point. We got to heckle each other. Well, he's grinning out there.
I'm waiting for him to tell us the GPS coordinates to your place.
Yes.
There's a bunch of others out here waiting to write them down.
Yeah.
That is funny because you can be in a little zone area and there's pheasants. You can go 10 miles a different direction. You go, where are all the pheasants?
Okay.
They're not there.
I've got one question before you leave here. Ron, this is for you and Clayton for you. This came in today from Doug Davis. I've personally never hunted wild pheasant. I've hunted them on preserves. I'm sure that is not the same. I mostly hunt quail in Arizona. I know you all love to hunt pheasants. I've watched you all on the flush hunting them. I've watched you all hunt them in blizzard conditions, like you were just saying, Ron. Snow up to your knees in freezing temperatures. What is it about these birds that make you want to hunt in such terrible conditions?
Well, it's my job. Well, you got to do what you got to do in the season when you're out there, But the pheasant, well, I don't put down any game bird because quail are in their own right are unique, ruffed grouse, et cetera, But the ringneck pheasant is one of our most successful alien introductions into America. A beautiful bird by any imagination, hardy, survival. People underestimate their hearing, etc. But he asked about the wild versus pen-raised birds. I never put down pen-raised birds. For one thing, they fly, they die, they taste good. But pen-raised birds are a great training ground for dogs, a great training ground for young hunters to go to a shooting preserve, etc. Is there a difference? Yeah. But I've also noticed when some places in South Dakota, when they put pen-raised birds out, they kind of scatter them periodically. When they are out there with truly wild birds, pen-raised birds soon learn to be kind of like their wild brothers and sisters. So, but nevertheless, there is a difference. But let me tell you, you bring a lot of guys who aren't familiar with hunting pheasants, bring them later in the season. And if South Dakota didn't seed some of these fields because they hunt them almost a couple times every week, nobody would get one. Because a wild bird is going to, the guys get out of the trucks, they slam the car door, they yell at their dogs, they shout, rooster, rooster. I've seen it happen a quarter of a mile away. The wild birds are leaving. Mm-hmm. And then, like I say, you're not going to get close to them. So the South Dakota outfitters have to seed these fields so that when you walk through them, you're going to have some luck.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Some people will say those are all wild birds out there. Some landowners in South Dakota won't plant any, and they are all wild birds. Some do and tell you that they don't, but you can tell the difference.
You can, but I don't like splitting hairs here because, like I said, pen-raised ones fly, die. Taste good. And if you went out there, if you spent a lot of money, you come from Illinois, you come out there in early November, late November, and all the wild birds are way a quarter of a mile ahead of you there. It's not much fun.
But then when you get one, isn't it just that much more rewarding?
No.
That's how we differ.
It's rewarding when you get 3.
I still have, yes, exactly. Why do you go out now when it's terrible, Clay?
Well, I enjoy the excitement of it, but you get out with a friend maybe you haven't seen in 3 or 4 months, and you have a hunting trip, and you have a blast. You catch up, you have a lunch after you've hunted, and you go out, you maybe have a few cocktails that evening, and you have a great dinner sitting around talking about and bullshitting, and giving Ron grief if he was sitting there. But that's just a third of it, hunting. Yeah. I love it, but I love to watch my dog. I love to go out with friends. I love the dinner that night and the drinks we have, and we have a blast.
So one thing that we've always done, Ron, and you are the king of this, and I love it. Every time we go on a hunting or fishing trip, at the end of the day, we have a story time at dinner. And we usually have an award that we hand out. Sometimes it's for the best fish or whoever shot the best or something like that. And to me, that's one of the best parts of the whole experience is after the fact. Ron, you're the king at giving people a hard time, which is why you can't give me a hard time for giving you a hard time, because you give it way more than you get it.
Well, you lost me there.
Yeah, anyway, we got Bobby Camaro over here that you were heckling before the show even started. Rob, do you have any favorite Ron moments that you can tell us right now?
Come on up here.
Come on up. Please, Clayton, take an item, a hat, one of these books, something to your lovely bride for bringing you out here tonight, please.
Take one
thank
for
you.
Great to listen
there.
to you guys.
And tell your wife to not give up cooking these pheasants because they're really good.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. We got a book right here. It's going to teach you exactly how to do it. Walton's has been one of our best supporters, and I'm forever grateful for that. Brett Walton and his boys and John Tremblay, the whole family there at Walton's, they work to provide everything that we need to prepare and process our wild game. And right now, I'm told that they're running a Black Friday sale and more sales leading up to Christmas. If you order anything on their site, over 5,000 items, by the way, it ships the same day. Anything from seasonings and spices to stuffers and grinders, mixers, everything but the meat. They've got it. And right now, they've got it on sale, making it even better. If there's anything you might need for yourself or that hunter or angler in your life, odds are they've got it. Check out waltons.com.
The flush. So fast, it hardly seems real. So vivid, the moment freezes in time before erupting in a blur of spurs and feathers. It's why we changed the way upland loads are built with Prairie Storm. Exclusive flight control FlexWad technology and a mix of copper-plated lead and flight stopper pellets combine to create dense, deadly shot strings through any choke. Longer shots, more power, fewer missed birds. Only from Federal.
The onX Hunt app is one of the most valuable hunting tools that I take into the field every day. I use it on every hunt. Seriously, every hunt. Their app tells me everything I need to know about the lands that I want to hunt and the lands that we can all legally hunt on. The app also shows your location on planet Earth and clearly lays out the land boundaries. It tells you information about the type of property you're on, like state land or federal lands or walk-in access properties. It's ideal for scouting before the hunt and during a hunt to help put together patterns. The app also has helpful features that show you the kind of crops that are in fields, which obviously is a big deal for us upland bird hunters. And there's a timber cut layer to help you find the right forest habitat for ruffed grouse. If you hunt in North Dakota, there's even a layer that lets you know if a property has been posted electronically. These are just a few of the many tools onX apps give you, and these maps can even be used in areas without cell coverage. From the palm of your hand, onX maps always help you to know where you stand. Bobby Camaro, welcome to the show.
It's great to be here.
You always heckle Scott when he's on the show. Now you're finally here.
I'm shocked he's not here. He loves to listen to himself talk, so I just sent him a text. So surprised he and Bill aren't here at all. So
yeah.
I would just add one thing, too. You're talking about the bad weather. But with a lot of people plan their pheasant trips early on, and they have to pick a date. And you pick your date, and you got to live with it. So if you get stuck with bad weather, you get stuck with bad weather. You don't have a choice.
Sure. And
with the hunting lodges filling up over the last couple of years during COVID, it's you pick your date, you go, and hey, if it's snowing, it's snowing. It's we've all been there. So
you were out there with Ron this last week.
Yeah.
Got to give us some dirt. What favorite Ron?
It's always
moment?
the highlight of my year.
Yeah.
When I get to fish with Ron or if I get to hunt with Ron. So
You're an honest man. You know that?
So I'll tell you, and I can't remember if I told this story or not, but we're in western Minnesota, Ron and I, and we never get to hunt together because you're always filming, I'm always filming. We have the same role in the show, so we try to maximize our time. But we got to hunt together for the first time, and we were with Scott. So we're just doing what Scott wants, And so we're walking and walking and walking and walking and walking. And then finally we get to the golden hour. We wait all day for it. We still don't have a bird in the pouch, but we're walking and walking. And Scott says, Ron, you go down, you see that tree down there at the end of the field? You go there. We're going to take a big loop around this whole field. We're going to bring it right to you. So Ron goes one way. I go my way with Bill and Scott. And the plan was just coming together. It was going to be perfect. We get to this tree, and the birds erupt, and they erupt, and they're flying, awesome. And there's no shots fired. And we're like, what the heck? We get just over the crest of this hill, and there's Ron, 200 yards east of the tree.
Where he was supposed to be.
Yeah, from where he was supposed to be. So all the birds go sailing into this other grass. No shots fired yet. I end up getting one right before dark. At night, I won the trophy. And the only reason I won the trophy is because Ron didn't follow the rules and go to the tree. Had he gone to the tree, he'd have gotten his limit, maybe another limit, everyone's limit he could have filled out.
Well, that's your side of the story. My side of the story is it's not my first, as you like to say, rodeo.
Sure.
I looked at the wind, etc. I said, those birds don't want to go off the end of the trees. If they come out at all, they're going to want to go to the left here because that's where more cover for them. And why would they want to go that way? So I figured I'm going to stay back a little bit here because if I got up those trees, anyway, it was a wrong move.
Oh my goodness. It
was the wrong thing to do.
Maybe that's part of why you keep going back out there, too. I personally think that's a big reason why you keep going back out there. I just hunted Wednesday night tonight, Brandon? Wednesday night, okay. So on Monday, I hunted in Brown County, Minnesota. Thank you, Tim. Tim is a guest here. I got a couple questions for him. But I didn't know it at the time, Tim, but I was only 1 mile from your property where we were hunting. We were filming part of a Flesh episode, and it's Trampled by Pheasants. We were with Dave Simonet from Trampled by Turtles and Bob St. Pierre and Matt Kaharski from Pheasants Forever. Part of the partnership that they've created with Trampled by Turtles is called Trampled by Pheasants. Anyway, we were hunting on Matt's property. Matt has 150 acres, okay? That's, depending on where you hunt, maybe that's a pretty good-sized chunk. Maybe that's tiny if you hunt in Montana where there's thousands of acres. But anyway, we're on 150 acres, and we start hunting at 9 a.m. Actually, no, 10. We got hunting around 10 a.m. By lunchtime at like 12:30, we never had a single bird for 4 guys. We had one shot. We saw, I think, maybe 5 or 6 other birds that got up at a distance, and Matt was just shaking his head. He hadn't hunted out there since opening day, and there were a lot of birds out there, and we hadn't seen hardly anything. Okay. By the time we left that property at 4 p.m., we didn't hunt till dark. We were done by 4. All 4 of us each took our 2 roosters, which is the Minnesota limit. Any guess as to how many miles my dog ran on that 150 acres, Ron?
No, but what's your point here? You got nothing by noon.
She ran 23.
I don't care how far your dog went.
She ran 23 and a half miles. Wow. And we hunted the exact same spot, sometimes 5 or 6 times.
What were the pheasants doing that you couldn't find any the first few hours?
It's like they were coming out of the ground in front of us. We would walk.
That's a new theory.
I know. But
they're still pretty smart.
They are, but here's the thing. We didn't watch them fly in.
Robbie, we should have got a shovel and looked under there.
There's a lot. There's a lot of lessons to be learned here. That's why I'm bringing up this story. Every time we walked the same spot, we found more birds than the time before, and they were holding even tighter. We had beautiful points, birds flushing inches from our dog's nose, and that was sometimes the fourth or fifth time we had walked through that exact same spot in the field. Birds were just showing up all day long. The more we hunted it, the better it got. How many times have you hunted wild birds on a property that size? It doesn't happen very often, but it's a lesson that I think hunters should take. Because what would you normally do when you walk a field? How often do you ever walk it twice? Be honest.
Well, what the birds, you got to figure out what they were doing. They were running around you, I think. It wasn't like they were there and then they weren't there. They were running around you, and so here's what happens. A lot of times a group of guys will start off like a marching band, go this way, then now this way, and then this way. And pheasants, well, they're over there. So they run. Especially if I'm by myself or just two of us, I never walk in a straight line because the birds are. I want to confuse those roosters as much as anything, so they don't know where I'm at. And so that's my theory. Especially when they're running around you, because 100 and some acres is still a lot of land.
It is a lot of land.
Yeah.
We had 1, 2, 3, 4. We had 5 dogs with us, and it was a very good lesson. And I bring it up because I think the rest of this season, people don't realize how often they walk past the birds that they're trying to get.
Well, but Travis, you may not have walked past them. They ran out of your path.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been. But
you got this pointer. Those pointers don't miss much.
Well, I keep her in, when we're in these marching band lines, like you call it, my dog, she wants to go, she's on a trail of a bird. And if it was just me and her, I'd let her go. And she would eventually, hopefully pin the bird, not flush it, hopefully pin it. And then I'd go, dogs on point 225. That's not a big deal. But I can't break a line. We got cameras. We got, everything happening here. So we're not going to do that. So I'm keeping her in check. But she would still range at about 100 yards. And Bob's got beautiful pointers, and they were ranging. And it was, I guess what I'm getting at is, every time we came back through these properties, and we did zigzags, we did figure eights through the fields, more birds every single time. Very valuable lesson. We all just kind of we're all seasoned hunters, but we all took from that if you said at lunchtime that day that we would all have our vests full and plenty of other birds that we didn't take a shot at, we'd have said, no way. But the reality is, I think 99% of the times, we'd have got in the truck and drove to the next property. You don't give it that time. And Tim, when we were talking here, Tim, do you want to come up here? Now's a good opportunity.
I'm going to get out of here so Tim can talk, but I didn't get a chance to actually hunt with Ron in South Dakota a few weeks ago. I was in a different group, but when I came back for lunch the first day, he couldn't wait to tell me he got his limit. So I'll just leave it at that.
I will say, Ron, but Tim gets this mic on. I'm going to tell you guys my other favorite moment from this season hunting with Ron was, we had hunted that first day, and I did get that bird. Bless you for not going where you were supposed to, because, I won the award that night. But the next night, we went to a new spot, and the birds were plentiful, and I watched you pull up and take aim and drop a beautiful rooster, and I could see the twinkle in your eyes, Ron. It was beautiful to see, because I never get to hunt with you. And then just as fast, it went to just head down, and we were both bummed because we couldn't find the bird. And we looked, and we looked, and we looked, and there was just this moment of, are we going to give up here? And at that very moment, right between you and I, was your beautiful rooster. And then the twinkle came back, and Ron Schara was happy Ron again.
Well, when you miss as much as I do.
You actually were probably the best shot on that. Scott would tell you, he would tell everybody that he was the best shot on that, but I'm going to give it to you.
No, that's all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
But getting back to your story, you already mentioned that you didn't stop doing those straight line things. Mm-hmm. Two things, I've said this before on a podcast, two things that we tend to underestimate with a ringneck pheasant. One, its sense of hearing is awesome.
Awesome.
And the other is their sense of their ability to run. And they can really cover a lot of ground. We tend to not think that they do that. We tend to think the same thing with quail and ruffed grouse, who also are great runners, but we don't think of them that way.
Pheasant's last resort is to fly.
Yes.
The very last thing he wants to do. Tim, you and I were talking before. Tim Kraske, welcome to the show. Thanks for driving out here tonight.
Thanks, Travis. The one thing you didn't mention was to the west, just over those trees, is about 100 acres of food plot.
Yep.
So
I was going to get to that, but I was waiting for you to come up here.
A lot of the birds, probably in the morning and to midday, were over there, and they were coming back to the grass to roost. So in the afternoon, you had the optimal conditions.
Good point. Very good point.
I know some hunters that live in good bird country that don't, or good pheasant country, I'll say, they don't go out until the afternoon because a lot of those birds are out there in the corn. They're not in the grass where everyone's walking around, which I think is a good reminder for people if you're hunting a lot of public ground or ground that gets hunted pretty hard. You can watch people go in and walk through this piece, and most of them will say, wow, that's already been hunted. I'm not going to go out there and waste my time. But what I'm trying to get at is you're not necessarily missing the time that you want to be there. It's a good lesson. It's a valuable lesson. Sometimes they fly in and land. Sometimes they run in. And the other thing about in the golden hour, I don't know if it's just this bird has just been eating all day and they don't want to get up, they don't want to run, but the flushes tend to be real close. You tend to have better hunting as the day wears on.
And the wind dies down usually too.
Yeah.
So you don't have that wind. It's just like that last hour, there's almost like when it dies down, it's like perfect.
That is. Tim, you have land in Brown County. Obviously, you have property near us. What has your hunting season been like out in that area? And that would be for people outside of Minnesota, kind of southwest Minnesota.
Yeah, so Brown County, you think of New Ulm and Sleepy Eye. Those are kind of the two central cities of Brown County. We're south and west of the Minnesota River. And, we fortunately, if you ever look at the Minnesota DNR map every year where it's, talks about pheasant numbers, where the brown is where the highest numbers are. Well, Brown County is brown always.
Yep.
Well, there's a reason, because the habitat is there, okay? And people don't realize also, we have 30 WMAs or WPAs in Brown County. We have, I think it's like 130,000 acres of CRP. So there's a lot of habitat. And that's not just for pheasants, that's for turkeys, deer, and everything else.
Yep.
And I'll add, that same piece of property, opening weekend of dove season, Brandon's sitting over there. He knows. We sat over there in that hole and shot our limited.
You hunted Matt's property?
We shoot doves there.
Oh, yeah. It was an old...
It's an old gravel pit.
Gravel pit, that's right.
So we shot our limited doves that morning, and you know what? The most humbling experience to anybody who's a hunter is to hunt doves.
Amen to that.
For every 5 shots, you might get one.
Yep. Maybe. True. So, Tim, I met you last year. You wrangled me into emceeing your Pheasants Forever banquet. You are the president?
I am the president of the Brown County chapter of Pheasants Forever.
Gotcha. How many projects have you been a part of then on the land since you've been involved with Pheasants Forever that you've seen, and how many have you hunted?
Oh God, I can't. That's hard to put a number to.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're involved. So one of the things Brown County did, and a couple other counties have done it. Nobles County with Scott Rawl.
Yep.
And Ken Reed, up in Pine County.
Okay.
Ken and I went to high school together. It's a little long story short, but we did the Adopt a WMA program with the DNR. So our chapter adopted all the WMAs in Brown County. I mean, the DNR doesn't have the staff to maintain these. So we as an organization said, okay, rather than just acquire land, we already have a lot of land. Let's figure out also how to maintain it and improve it. Keep the, people from dumping garbage on it, clean up the barbed wire, plant, habitat, clean up noxious weeds.
That happens, by the way, going back, that happens way more than it should ever happen. How do you explain the trash that people dump in the middle of...
People don't realize we put game cameras out now and catch them.
Do you really?
Absolutely. We turn their ass in and get them a ticket, and they won't do it again.
I love it. What's the worst thing you've seen dumped?
The worst is mattresses. You know, people dump mattresses.
I've seen
washing machines,
those old TVs,
stuff like that. And and most people are pretty good about, turning people in as well. We got the word out that says, hey, look, we're not going to tolerate it. And so the other thing we've been doing is in the WMAs is, putting parking areas. I don't know if you noticed, but most WMAs don't have parking areas. You just park on the road. So we've been creating designated parking areas, and the DNR has been really good about, budgeting for gravel, putting the gravel in then, and we mow them the first few years, and they put the gravel down. We put signs up, say park here, et cetera. These types of things, people notice, and then they go, oh, you guys are doing something. You're making a difference.
Yeah. What goes into, because you put together a wonderful banquet last year. How many people typically come to your banquet? How much time do you invest into making it happen? And then what do you get out of it?
So the banquet is one of our main fundraising events in a year. But to do any banquet, it's about planning and execution. It's that simple. If you don't have a plan, you can't execute. Until I took over as president, the team before me really never had it written down.
So somebody like you, the Tim before you, had it all up at top?
And he's a great guy, but they never had it written down.
Sure.
So I took the time, because I was part of the board and the committee before I was president, to start writing it all down. And I wrote down everything you do to do a banquet. I mean, literally everything. And then I had a separate spreadsheet with all the budget items. So the thing is, you have to create a plan. You have to have a budget. And if you don't have a budget, you're going to go broke. I'll tell you, running any banquet, if you don't have a budget, you're going to go broke. And the biggest single what if unknown is food.
Yeah.
The meal. That's the biggest unknown. And we really gotten to the point where you say, if you don't pre-register, you don't buy your ticket in advance, and you show up in the door and want to get in, we'll let you in, but you may not get a meal. But you're going to pay the same. So, but it's about planning and execution. And if you have a good plan, you can delegate then.
What can, when people go to a banquet, how many people come to your banquet?
About 250.
250. Okay. What can you expect to take out of that, if you can share that with us?
Money?
Yeah, money-wise. Like, what can that many people raise for Habitat?
Okay, so we went into it, 250 people. We had about a $35,000 budget. Now, there's a lot of guns in there, a lot of stuff.
Sure.
We grossed about $85,000, netted $50,000.
Where does that go?
The nice part about Pheasants Forever is the only organization that the money we raise stays in the county. It stays in the chapter. It doesn't go off to some cloud in the sky like most of these places. I don't want to disparage any of my other peer groups, because I belong to all of them as well. But when I give money to Ducks Unlimited, almost none of it stays here. It all goes Louisiana, Missouri. Well, I understand there's a lot more ducks there, but there's ducks in Minnesota. Okay. The nice part is we get to control the money and what we do with it.
And you and your team get to make that decision.
We get to do all of that. So things like the Adopt a WMA, we do a lot of youth type events. We partner with Nicollet County Pheasants Forever. We put on one huge youth event in the spring. We donate to the trap teams, those types of things.
Yeah. You brought this book here. You're just going to change the subject a little bit. Red, White, and Everything Else. Wild Game Cooking at its Best. Why the title, and what's in this book?
Well, Red, White, and Everything. First of all, when you're retired and have nothing better to do, you read a cookbook.
Okay.
So red means red meat, white means white meat, and everything else. My wife does not really like wild game, and I know a lot of other people who do not like wild game. Part of the problem is
they don't know how to cook it.
They don't know how to cook it. It's not prepared very well. Well, I was fortunate to travel like 25, 30 plus countries. I've tasted food from all over the world. So that is an eclectic version as well, from France, Asia, America, Canada, you name it. There's recipes in there. Pheasant, turkeys, elk, buffalo, bison, duck, you name it, it's in there.
Very cool. I'm assuming this could be found on Amazon?
No, it was published in northern Minnesota at Northern Wilds, but you can search it on Google, Red, White, and Everything Else, and it'll come up.
Okay.
Okay. If you want it, if you anybody here who wants it in the audience wants to know about it, they can come see me. I'll tell them where to get it.
Very cool. Tim, appreciate everything you're doing for the birds and coming out tonight and sharing this book. I'm excited to take a look at it and find out a new recipe that I can add. Ron, you've got some experience writing books. Now is probably a good time to talk about it because Christmas is coming. You've got some stories from your latest book that you've written.
It's a hell of a plug.
I'm here. See, I'm here for you.
Yeah.
You came all the way out in the dark of night tonight. And least I can do.
I've already sold one right over there. He was going to buy one. You can go on to Amazon and find my book. It's called Ron Schara's Minnesota Mostly True Tales of a Life Outdoors. And I wrote about the Moore County Fair and the little duckling that I won and the little blonde that was working the gambling concession had eyes for me when I was 12 years old.
Oh, sure.
And in fact, I was pretty convinced that she did, which kept me reaching into my pocket and throwing money out there.
Turns out she didn't, though, huh?
I got the duckling.
Oh!
She was very happy. She held it up so everybody could see, so that more people would step up and throw money to her. Anyway,
enough
of that.
So it's another great Christmas idea. What if somebody listening right now is trying to think of a gift to give you for Christmas? What would you ask for?
I got everything.
I know. Okay, if you're buying a gift for
some things you don't. You probably don't buy a shotgun for somebody. If a box of ammo might work for. If a pheasant hunter, maybe a vest would work. But, some of those things like a vest and boots or whatever are kind of so personal, you shouldn't be buying them.
You know what's not personal? A boot dryer.
A boot dryer, yeah.
That's a good gift.
You got sweaty feet?
Well, everybody that, hunts long enough is going to step in water over your boots.
Hand warmers when you're in the deer stand.
Yeah, there you go. In the deer stand. I believe
we have some more questions.
We've got
out
some
there?
questions over
We've
here.
got a bunch of loot
Nicole,
here.
Yeah, come on.
Did you get a hat? Your buddy was supposed to bring a hat to you too. He's useless.
Thanks, Tim. If you're an outdoor lover on the go, then odds are good that you have toys and equipment that you want to haul. Aluma Trailers, well, they've got you covered. Their trailers are built by a hardworking team in Bancroft, Iowa. They have models for nearly any and every hauling need, from ATV and UTV trailers to utility, snowmobile, motorcycle, car trailers, and even fully enclosed trailers like mine. Trust me when I say that Aluma trailers tow like a dream. Their trailers are constructed out of lightweight, strong, corrosion-resistant aluminum, and they are 100% maintenance-free. Plus, they come with an industry-best 5-year warranty. Visit alumaklm.com to find a trailer that fits your needs. I love my dog, and like you, I always want to make sure that she has what she needs to stay healthy year-round and perform at her best in the field. That's why I feed Daisy Nutrisource high-performance dog food. Nutrisource dog food comes with their Good for Life system that includes 4 key ingredients that work together to support gut health, heart health, and the overall well-being of our dogs. I have complete confidence that my dog has all of the nutrition to excel in the field and make it through a rigorous hunting season. I've seen it firsthand, and she loves her food. Take it from me and my dog Daisy. Nutrisource high-performance dog food can help your dog reach their full potential. Find the food that's right for your dog at NutrisourcePetFoods.com. Hunting season is here, and North Dakota is one of my favorite places to spend a fall day. That's because North Dakota is a bird hunting paradise. You can hunt both waterfowl and upland birds all in the same day, and North Dakota has approximately 700,000 acres of private land open to public walk-in hunting. This year, North Dakota has a population estimate of 3.4 million breeding ducks, which is 38% above the long-term average. And their prairie pothole region is smack dab in the middle of the Central Flyway. Their spring water index also came way up, over 600% from last year's drought. The habitat on the landscape looks great, and bird reports are strong throughout the state. With a little scouting, you just might find yourself in a field surrounded by wild flushing pheasants, sharp-tailed grouse, and Hungarian partridge. Plan a legendary bird hunt this fall in North Dakota at legendarynd.com.
What are you drinking, ma'am? A stout. Okay. That's your 8th one too, I think.
Correct. 8th or 10th, maybe? I don't know.
So your mom came to a show 2 months ago, maybe? Our first one when we were outside when it was about 80 degrees warmer than it is right now.
Yeah, you guys were out on the balcony.
Yeah, we had dogs out there, but she raved about your hunting skills. So I'm glad that you came back. You are a bird hunter. What's your name?
I'm Nicole Paul.
Okay.
Thank you for the legend. I don't know if it's true, but I appreciate the raving. No, I do. I love hunting. Birds.
How did you get into it, and why do you keep going back?
That's a loaded question. My dad started, I first went to hunter safety when I could. What is that, 12, 13 years old?
I think you can do it at 11, but
Maybe
yeah.
it was 11,
Yep.
yeah. So
Yep.
I always went target shooting with my dad with like a little 22 or whatever. My brother and I probably had airsoft wars in the house, which my mother did not appreciate. Still finding those BBs in the carpet when we go to pick up our childhood stuff. But it just kind of developed from there. I was on the high school dance team, so I was not able to. I went to Hopkins High School, by the way. We're in Hopkins right now.
Yep.
My golden school. But starting dance, I always wanted to do the trap team because we had one in Hopkins, and
Awesome.
that was back. So I graduated 2011. That kind of really got started in
I was going
the
to say
late
that would be
2000s.
right about okay.
And
But you didn't do it?
I wasn't able to because I was busy with competitions with dance. And it wasn't until my senior year that the coach, I knew him, he's like, okay, you do not compete. It's your senior year. Let's do the trap team this spring. I was like, absolutely. And I loved it because it honed in my skills for hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, big time. Because it's like my dad and I would go to Minnesota Horse and Hunt Club and shoot trap. But it's like I needed a coach to kind of like tell me what I was doing wrong.
Ron, when did you get your daughters into trap shooting?
Well, they both kind of like that.
Yeah, it's like you just kind of develop.
Take them
into it.
out, and let them first. They walk behind you, and then pretty soon you give them a shotgun. But Laura found trouble having a shotgun that fit her, and finally found one that did. Made a huge difference.
Big time.
But I'm curious, are you aware of the number of organizations that are geared up to introduce women to hunting, and have
Big
you
time.
participated in any of that?
I participate in a lot of like social media, like Women Who Hunt on Facebook, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Sure.
I've not personally been in like gone to banquets or anything for like that because I would like to get more involved because that was a huge thing for me. I was a tomboy. I loved doing quote unquote more like boy things, but it was still a women's sport too. It's like I
think it's more
decent.
There's more women in some of the shooting clubs and high schools.
I was decent. I was not great because it was like really my first year trying, and I only did that. And then I got into duck hunting through a guy I dated in high school, and it was awesome. And that really introduced me to duck hunting. I love waterfowl hunting, and then just continued through that through college. I'd go out by myself deer hunting, and I went to UW La Crosse. I would pack up my bag, go on the bluffs in Coon Valley, Wisconsin.
You are a tomboy.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Did you ever hang a deer up on the property at school?
No, well, I brought a lot of ducks home, and I had roommates that were like, that is so gross that you go hunting. And then I come home and I cook it for them. And I do know how to cook wild game because there is a thing.
Well done.
I've had really gross duck, and I've had really good duck. Same with goose.
Can you field dress a deer by yourself?
Yes, I can. I did this year.
You know, you're the perfect woman.
Ron's in love right now.
Do you want to write a letter to my husband? Yes. No, he knows. He's a good man.
Get rid of him. Get rid of him.
Oh my goodness.
My daughter Simone teaches other ladies about hunting, introducing them. She's a great shot with a shotgun, and also has her own black lab. So her name is Simone, and you might keep track of that. But
that would be good to know.
It's always great for somebody like you to go with other women.
Yes.
So that's cool.
And that's what I would love to do. It's like I've got 2 golden retrievers now. My husband always hunted with golden retrievers, and so we have 2 field goldens that are. Oh, our oldest Blue. Another story about pheasant hunting is every time we went on a South Dakota trip, very similar to your recent trip, where it's like
the ice bowl.
10 feet of snow. We went January. It was after the first of the year. It was dumb, but we just wanted to go.
Go when you can go.
Those dogs got worked, and I was the guy at the end.
Blocker.
Blocker, yeah. well, it's the same thing. Like the guys went over here, I was here. I'm like, what are we doing here?
Once you're where you're supposed to be.
3 birds. They were just roosted. They didn't want to move when the wind's blowing and it's cold.
If you go over there, they're going to go over here.
Correct.
If you go over here, they're going to go over there. That's just what they do.
When you were talking about their sense of like how they can hear is insane. But we have our oldest golden blue. He's 5. Every time we've gone field hunting, whether it's a game farm or wild, he comes back with his own bird. When we're not shooting birds, he'll disappear for like 5 minutes, and it's not great. It's like, where is he? He comes back with a pheasant in his mouth. Mm-hmm. Like, you guys didn't do good enough. I'm getting my own bird.
Wow.
Okay, wow. Good boy.
Ron, yeah. I understand that you fell in love with a bird dog in South Dakota that your wife might be okay with you bringing home. Is there any truth to this?
No, there's no truth to it. I don't know what...
The little field-bred English cocker, George Lyle's dog that you hunted with.
Well, they're lovely and so lovable. But I've hunted with them quail hunting in Texas on a flush episode, 2 English cockers, and they're full of fun. And this one that was out in South Dakota in all that ice storm and everything else, it's no bigger than the grass itself. It was
I was going to say they're not far off the ground.
Fun,
real trooper. It was a real trooper, and they just hunt hard, and they have a lot of, everybody says, well, you're a lab guy. I am a lab guy, but I've also learned any good dog is one that I like, because there's plenty of them that are not so good. But anyway.
Well, my mom is sitting over there. I just noticed that she snuck in the back. And when you were on the last show, when we were sitting in Scott's bird camp out there in western Minnesota, you mentioned that over the course of our time hunting together out there that you got lonely. And she sent me a message and said that it was sad to listen to that. And she's not the only one that has said that it was sad to hear you say that. And it brought tears into her eyes. And I know I'm not alone when I say this, but we're all wanting you to get a puppy, Ron. Could that be the puppy for you?
I don't know. It may happen down the road. And what Travis is talking about is, because I had ravens for so many years and hunted with them. I had labs before that. They were wonderful hunting dogs. And so now I've found myself the last year or two, since the last raven died, no dog. And so I just said one day, as I'm out there with everybody, your dog, Scott Franson has his dog, other people have their dogs, that I'm out there by myself or walking to the grass, that no dog in front of me. I told the camera guys, I said, don't follow me, because if you want to see pheasants, go with the guys that have dogs. Mm-hmm. And I just said, once you've had a hunting companion, a canine companion like that, and they're gone, and they were good dogs, it gets lonely. So I just said, it's lonely out here. And it is. I'm not crying about it. It's just a fact. It is lonely.
What if I ask for forgiveness from Denise after putting a little puppy in the stocking for Christmas?
You're going to have to add some money with that?
I think we can figure out some way to incorporate this into the show.
Bring it to your house for potty training?
Yes, there's a good idea.
Yes.
I don't have new carpet yet. I'll take
there
it
you
for
go.
a little bit.
Well, there you go. And her dog's already bringing the birds back. You don't have to worry about missing anymore.
We have a 1-year-old puppy, so our carpet's ruined. Yeah.
There you go. Well, thank you so much for coming out tonight.
Much.
We appreciate it. Do we have any questions here? We're about ready. I'm getting the signal here that we're about ready to wrap this up. Do we have any last questions? Here, please take one of these new flush hats. I will tell you that we have...
else out?
Yeah, whatever else you want over. We got buffs. We've got some shirts. I did talk to Scott today, and he said he's got an order of some different flush blaze orange hats that are coming in, and I think like a quarter zip shirt as well.
This gentleman has a question.
Come on in. It looks like we got 2 here.
Oh, all right. I don't know if it's a question. I just want to thank my daughter and my best hunting companion for coming out with me tonight. And
awesome.
We've been on many.
What's her name?
Alexandra. So.
Hi, Alexandra. Thanks for coming out tonight. And your name?
Dan Larson.
Dan.
Yeah, we've been on many adventures from the coast of Maine to blizzards in Montana, and she's always willing to go on my crazy adventures.
Oh,
That's great.
So
I love
That's
that.
I
great.
just want to thank you for coming with. And I'll make her pick out a prize.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for going hunting with your dad.
I have to say the coldest thing we've only ever done was sea duck in Maine.
Oh, yes.
That was a different
Really?
breed of duck hunting I've done before.
Were
so.
you in a layout boat?
Yeah. Well, how big was that motor? I don't even remember. Yeah. And it was the craziest thing. We'd sit there. He had his dog out, a lot of the decoys out, and you'd be sitting there. There's something diving in outside the decoys, and he goes, "Oh, that's just the seals. They do that all the time." So going from the Midwest to something like that was kind of crazy.
Wow.
So
Have you hunted this year?
yeah, yeah, we've been out plenty of times. Actually, a couple weeks ago, we just got back from Thompson, South Dakota. Yep.
And
Oh, yeah.
Who's a better shot, you or your dad? You can say he doesn't have the
He's
mic
probably
right now.
It's a toss-up.
He's been shooting trap better more than I have this year, so.
But you hit your fair share of birds.
We did. We cleared out a lot of snows and some divers this year, so it was pretty good.
Awesome.
Good for you. Good for
Well,
you.
thank you so much. Make sure you grab one of these items here. You got some shirts to choose from, some buffs. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate everybody coming out tonight. It's really fun to meet people that are listening. Oh, yeah, come on up. Yep, I was just about to wrap it up, but now you come. Got to put the hat on. What's that?
Late night, early morning.
Yeah.
Great book, by the way, Ron.
I'm sorry, say that again?
Great book.
Oh, thank you. What was the name of the book?
Your last one you wrote, the
Yes,
Minnesota
thank you.
Tales and Stories.
Ron Schara's Minnesota, Mostly True Tales of a Life Outdoors, available on Amazon.com.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
He likes to hear people say it. That's why he pretends he doesn't hear it, so you have to repeat it louder, and it just fills him up.
No, it's great. Some of them seem a little sketchy, but I take your word on it.
Some of the stories he tells
mostly true.
Yeah.
Yes, mostly. Yeah, it depends who you ask. So here's my question for you two both. Since you had Raven
Yes.
and you have
Daisy. Yep.
What was the reasoning behind picking the dogs you have currently or had? Like, what was the reason to the madness, right? I mean, did somebody push you that way, or did you see a lot of things you liked with said dog?
So I'll go first here. Obviously very fortunate to hunt with a lot of different people and a lot of different dog breeds in different terrains, too. All of those are factors that play into it. I've seen some great big running dogs, some pointing breeds that really get out there and cover ground. They're very well trained. And I thought to myself, I want a dog that goes out and finds the birds. And I hunt in North Dakota a lot. I don't always want to walk out 500 yards to the rock pile in the middle of the field, but I can point to my dog to go out there and sniff it and find out if there's a bird there. Now I know if I can go or not. Anyway, my friend Tyler Webster lives in Northwest North Dakota. He has two amazing dogs, and I had the distinct pleasure of hunting behind both of them. And then I come to find out that one hunting trip didn't get locked up like he thought, and they had an oops litter. And so I thought, two amazing dogs come together. What are they going to make? An amazing puppy. And I didn't know what I was getting myself into at the time, but she's everything that I could have ever wanted now that I've pulled her in, reined her in a little bit. She's really come into her own this year. But I think it's experiencing what that dog's potential could be, seeing it, but also knowing that I like to hunt a variety of terrains and birds, and she's able to do all those things. I think what a lot of people need to look at when they go to pick out a dog is, where do you hunt? What are you hunting for? And then determine the kind of dog you want. So that's what I took into consideration. Ron?
Well, when I first heard Travis got a pointer, I said to him, what are you thinking?
Yes.
You're living in Minnesota.
There were some curse words in there,
Listen,
too.
Mike got the floor here now. You're living in Minnesota, land of duck hunting, grouse, pheasants, etc., and you get a pointer that wants to run from here to South Dakota. I go, what are you thinking? But here's what. There are pointer people and there are flushing people. I got started with a Cocker Spaniel when I was a kid. It was the first birdie dog I ever had. And then after that, I got to college. I got a golden retriever, wonderful dog named Taffy. But Then I got interested in field trials. So I took my golden retriever to the field trials, and she did okay, but she could not compete with those labs. They were flashier, faster, just more pleasing to a judge's eye, I put it that way. So then, of course, I had to get a black lab. A guy basically sold me one that was flat-footed, but it was a retrieving fool. And I started doing field trials. Anyway, that started my lab affinity. I did try over the years, as I wrote about training and labs, etc., but I really need to try a Brittany. So I tried a Brittany once. It was a bad experience for me. I found out my personality was more for a lab. I really didn't know anything about training Brittany's. And so that my biggest problem was convincing my two young daughters, Simone and Laura, who were young at that time, that my Brittany was going to another nice home. Not easy. And then I tried Chesapeake Bay. And a wonderful dog. It wasn't Birdie at all. I gave him to my brother, who then moved to South Dakota, and that dog turned out to be Birdie as all get out. And then I had people, because of my notoriety, people wanted to give me puppies, and so would say no, but then they'd ship it or something. And most of those...
You got a dog shipped to you after saying
from
no?
Montana. That was that dog, if it came to pigeons, it would run the other way. Anyway, so I became full-fledged lab. But to add what Travis said, if you're looking for a puppy, kind of figure out what you like and how you hunt. But the main thing is to look at the parents of the puppy, because if the parents are both hunting dogs, have been trained to hunt, are good hunting, then chances are, it's a roll of the dice, but chances are your puppy will have a lot of those same things. If you go to your neighbor has a backyard litter of puppies, and aren't they cute? We all fall in love with them. You grab one, and you'll find out later the mother has never been hunting in her life, and she is afraid of guns. So there you go.
And do you have a dog, sir?
Yeah, two golden. Well, three technically. I hunt with two golden retrievers.
How do you mean three technically?
Well, Augie was a freebie, so I ended up with Beamer from Silver Lake, Hasty area. He's 9.
Okay.
And he got to the 8-year age, and I talked to the wife, had to do a little begging, and
that's usual.
We ended up. You got to ask the boss,
That's normal.
Regardless of what anyone says, we know who the boss is. And
yes.
The boss okayed the second dog, so then I wanted a pick on a male. I found a litter out of Wahpeton, North Dakota. I wanted to pick on the male. I had second pick. They only had one male. Didn't work out. So then I had third pick on a female. Great. Ginger's her name. Phenomenal dog. She'll be 2 here on Valentine's Day. She's done some South Dakota hunts and done very well. And all of a sudden we're out and training and doing our thing here right before season. Before they even, what were they, 8 months old, 6 months old, whatever they were. All of a sudden, Rhonda calls me and it's like, hey, anybody looking for another golden? I have her brother, the only boy out of the litter. The couple that had purchased him kind of returned him. They were older. It was just too much, right? A puppy's a puppy. They want to run. They want to play. They want to do a lot of things that...
They weren't ready for it.
Yeah, it's just a lot of work. It's everybody, like you said, they're cute, cuddly, but then all of a sudden now they're terrorizing things, and I don't got time for that. And
you do, though.
We do. I live up in Watkins area. We have some land, and once again, I had to talk to the boss. It was like going to the bank for a loan, You're like, God, should I go in for this again? Well, if they'll okay it, probably, and I can make a payment on it. And all of a sudden, I talked to Ron. I'm like, well, what do you like? What do we need to do? And she's like, I keep in great touch with her right now, and she's been a great person out there in Wahpeton, North Dakota. You can have them. So I ended up with 3, but there's 2 that are sturdy hunters. Beamer and Ginger are phenomenal hunters. We'll be out next weekend in South Dakota doing our run out by Watertown, and should be a good time.
Awesome.
From what I've heard, it's going to be a good time.
Yeah, so. Quite a few people here can tell you some stories as well.
A couple guys.
We appreciate you coming out tonight. Yeah. Please grab any of these items. Any last questions or thoughts before we wrap this up?
No, definitely. Good luck to everybody hunting. There's still some positive parts of the season left, and luckily, Western Minnesota, we didn't get any of that snow. So take advantage of this because it's December as of tomorrow, and very little snow.
1 month left. The season goes quick.
It goes quick.
Listener sent the question, why do you go out and do it? I say, I go when I can go. And I can't choose the weather. I like to go through harsh conditions. For some reason, I feel like I really earn something when I do well. And if I don't, oh well. I'll get them next time. Ron, last question for you. Do you have a favorite moment with any of your dogs that you can think of right now, just off the top of your head? A moment, a story that stands out to you that you just hold on to?
I have many moments.
I'm sure you do. But is there one that you can share, our last story of the night?
Well, Raven the Third was just was a puppy, 4, 5, 6 months old, and I was in North Dakota with her mother and Raven the Third, Raven the Second. I hunted Raven the Second all day. There were other dogs, so I learned a long time ago that a young pup like that, it's better to go out just you and that puppy. Don't have a whole bunch of other people, other dogs, etc. Get the dog. So at the end of the day, almost the end of the day, we were done hunting, so I grabbed Raven the Third. I still haven't shot my limit, so and Raven the Third and I, we went out on some grass there, and she was hunting. She'd been trained, and rooster went up, and I shot it, and when it went down sideways, and I knew it was just crippled. I kicked myself, but we went over there where the bird fell, so did Raven the Third. She went over there. It wasn't there. I knew it wasn't there. I'm just kicking myself. And I'm just kind of standing there feeling sorry for myself, etc. And Raven the Third started putting her nose to the ground, and she started sniffing a trail. I didn't know what she was doing, but she was pretty sure she knew what she was doing. And she got out there 30, 40, 50 yards and jumped that bird. She had trailed it all that way and grabbed it and brought it back. And from that time on, she trailed pheasants all the time. But that was a memorable moment. And you get memorable moments when it's just you and your dog. So sometimes that's the way to go, just you and your dog. Leave everybody else at home. And it's a bonding deal. And you really get to become a team. It's really cool.
It is. Yeah, there's that partnership that the two of you then form, which is definitely interesting in your line of work and what I do too. When we go out, like I said, there was 4 dogs in the field, and things change a little bit. But when you get your dog out there, one-on-one like that, and you go for a walk, you get to see some pretty cool things that creature can do in the field. And when you're part of it, I've been joking about this last couple of weeks, Ron. I know you've heard all of my podcasts lately. I know you listen to everyone.
Yeah, this one's a long one too.
Everybody, when you interview people, they always say, what? It's about the dog. It's about the dog. That's what brings them out. But I tell people, you're full of it. It's about the whole experience, everything that goes into it. You have to make the shot. You have to put yourself in position to make the shot. As part of the team that you and your dog are out in the field, you get to watch it. You got to be there together. If it was just about the dog, you could go for a walk anywhere, but pulling the trigger and making that all come together and bringing it back, it's the whole experience. And that's why I think hunting is so wonderful.
Very well said.
Oh, okay. We'll wrap it up right there. Thank you all for coming out tonight. We really appreciate you coming out on such a cold winter night. Still a month left of the hunting season here in Minnesota, and hey, in South Dakota, it goes to the end of January now. Huh? 2 months, I know. Yes, I know. And hunting seasons are open all around the country right now. Ron, thank you. Drive safely home, everybody. We'll see you next week on another episode of the Flush Podcast.
Thanks, John.